Hi, all. We're in yet another Scope community meeting, and today we have Akash, Satyam, and Brian. The agenda today is very brief, uh, as far as I saw 1 minute ago, and it's still the same. We only have one item, which was suggested by Brian, and it's reviewing recent PRs and issues new in the last 2 weeks to see if anyone has more info or wants to review, fix any of them. For starters, maybe it would be a good idea to review all the pull requests, maybe, and then not all the issues, obviously. But I think the list of pull requests is short enough to go through them.
You mean all the open ones?
All the open ones, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I guess I meant if we get into the habit of doing this, then we don't have to go back over all the.
Yeah. But I was thinking that maybe for the first time we could go over them and then just
sure,
go through the recent ones. And we can, for issues, we are not going to go through 1,600 issues. Through 360 issues. But we can go through the recent ones.
There's about 8 of those, I think.
Yeah. So the first one is I'm gonna go through the pull request first.
And, I mean, I can probably talk to. I mean, some of them I don't know, and we could arrange. Because basically the front end team that we've worked do things that I don't understand. So yeah, there's some. I mean, the thing is, we use Scope as a component of Weave Cloud, and so the newest pull request, starting with the newest one, is about making the code less tangled between the two things. But I really don't know any more about the details. But we could invite one of the, Philip Barrell, who's the submitter of 3244.
Maybe we can invite them for the.
Or Simon, who is Foot on GitHub. Yeah, so that's one I'm like, something JavaScript. And actually, so 3235 is kind of similar. It's like, okay, you're changing the font. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that's important. 3231, I don't know anything about. Oh, yeah, maybe I do. That one is that the Power Architecture?
Yeah, I had a look at it, and I think we're waiting on another review from anybody.
So that's a good pointer, actually, because I'd forgotten about that. Or I get so many emails, I don't read them all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to re-review that. I think it got better. I think he had like dozens of changes, and he's cut that down a bit.
It's Brian. Actually, she has bumped up the versions, so I'm I could not get a time to work on to test it thoroughly, but I'll do it. I'll put my review.
Awesome.
Yeah, it looks okay. Just glancing at it. Yeah, I'll
All right. 3, 2.
What else we got? Add container name. Okay, so 3212 is one where I think we couldn't agree what this feature was for.
The container name tag.
Or yeah, we basically agreed to do it differently, but I haven't got around to do that.
I actually kind of agree with Matthias on this one. I mean, nobody has really missed. Have you actually missed that? Have you found it by reading through the code or by missing the actual feature?
Yeah, I found it because I was refactoring the code, and I came to a piece I didn't understand, and it was wrong. Yeah,
I
so
can take this one. I think we could probably just remove the code, right? The
I don't know. I mean, yeah, since it's not been working for months, I can't say that's a tragedy to just take the code out.
yeah, I'll take that up.
But that's why that one's sitting there. 3137, this is one of my long-running optimization PRs, and I'm going to make another small one actually when I finish tidying it up. But this 3137 is going to sit around for a few weeks longer, I think, because it takes a lot of work to get everything aligned.
All
and
right.
I do the optimizations in my spare time.
Yeah, we know. Well, I know at least.
3118, I think you commented.
Yeah, I just opened it. So the context behind this one, probably Brian remembers, is that YCow56 created a PR to add labels for label filtering for Kubernetes. And what happened here?
Yeah, you said you were going to close one of them and open the other one, but I think they're both open.
Yeah, so I was aiming to leave 3118 open, which I just did. So let's, yeah. Yes, 3117. Okay, I'm confused now. Yeah, it's 3117, I think. Yes, exactly. So 3117 is the one which had a better UI because it didn't occupy so much on the screen. And YCow56 didn't finish it up even after asking him. So I was thinking maybe Rakesh could work on this, but since he's not present, it's not very polite to to assign him the task. So I'll add it to myself as an action to ping Rakesh on this on scope.
So should 3118 be closed?
I just closed it, but the UI doesn't refresh, so you need to
Got you. Yeah.
Okay, and then we have a couple of optimization PRs.
Actually, yeah. So 2962 is the one I meant when I said that one's going to take a few more weeks. The 3137 is much simpler. I just need to get back to that. See, if I close it, I'll just forget all about it.
Leave it open then.
Yeah.
I think it's been sitting there.
Especially because it's in the probe. I tend not to find so many optimizations in the probe because it's harder to profile.
Yeah.
So 2962 is the one I spoke about earlier, but I just said it in the wrong place. And
okay.
2574, I need to get back to that as well. In fact, I guess the next step would be to convert to CircleCI 2.0.
I can take that one as well, actually. Do you want?
Have you done a CircleCI 2.0 conversion?
Yeah, in my
yes. Okay.
In my current in my day job, we've migrated everything to 2.0 and started a few projects in 2.0. So I think I'm I think I'm well suited for that. Do you want me to change the PR, or do you want me to change what's in master first?
2574.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do 2.0, just open a new PR and
On master, you mean?
yeah, open a new PR against master, and when you get that done, I'll take a look, see if there's anything remaining in 2574.
All right.
But ping me if you want. I've been doing a lot of those conversions as well, and like the first one took days, but it gets easier because you get more used to what's going on.
All right. I'll give it a try, and if I get stuck, I'll ping you. Yeah.
I just mean there's lots of choices, like container versus machine and stuff like that.
We're using containers. Any tips or anything you found to be particularly helpful or confusing that took a while to figure out?
Well, I guess everything was confusing to begin with because there's like a huge set of funny words, and I didn't know what any of them meant. What we've been doing in a few projects, because we use a build container, right? So the project builds a build container, and then you need a container image to run the whole thing. So we've been doing it to push the build container somewhere, Docker Hub, and then just run the entire build inside a container run from that image. So the main downside with that is that it's a two-step process. If you want to change that build container, change the version of Go or something like that, you need to build it, push it, change the CI.
Right.
Anyway, this is, like I say, ping me on Slack or something if you want to talk about choices.
Okay, I'll take a look first. Okay, I think that finishes the pull request.
Brian, I can help you with the 3137. I mean, I would need some pointers to get started. I think it's been lingering since 2-3 months, right? So.
Yeah. So the crux of it is there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 commits in the PR, and the fourth one is the only one we agreed on. So the main open task is to pull that commit out and rewrite it. So that's let me put this in the chat. Or we can do it in Slack afterwards. I don't have Slack open on this computer. Yeah, so that comment. So that commit is like +16 -8. But you can't just pull it out on its own because I changed everything else beforehand. So you have to kind of pull that out and rewrite it.
Okay.
The bigger, like the whole 500 lines, Matthias basically rejected on stylistic grounds. And I have to, like one day I might figure out a way to get the bigger conceptual change done.
Yeah.
maybe Satyam can find a way.
Yeah, I'll give it a try, but I'm just figuring out like how we are calculating this optimizations. I mean, are we doing profiling or something?
Yeah, I run the benchmarks.
Okay.
Sorry, if
Yeah.
you, I mean, ask me on Slack if you want to know how to run the benchmarks or anything like that.
Yeah,
But
sure.
but very quickly, the result of the benchmarks are after the changes before, as it is right now, are in the description of the pull request,
Okay.
so that you
Yeah,
get a
I
grasp
see.
of how that works,
Yes,
or
yes,
the
I got it.
result.
But
And
actually, no, sorry. Now I think about it, there are no good benchmarks for stuff that goes on inside the probe. So that is actually a comment. So yes, there are benchmarks, but for this particular change, they don't show much of an improvement. So actually, the really scientific way to do it would be to come up with some valid benchmarks for what goes on in the probe. And that's an even bigger task. But, the probe is the thing everyone bitches about, how much CPU it takes. So it would certainly be worth...
sure, we can talk about it. I mean, I just need to know like how benchmarking is done and
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, at a very high level, we have Go has a benchmark framework, the same as it has a testing framework.
yeah. So we don't have anything scope related. I mean, with that.
We have a bunch of things in the code, but just not the probe.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know how you can do like Go test? Or maybe you don't know, but you can in Go. There's like a Go test command.
Yes, I know.
Okay, so it's like Go test minus bench.
Okay.
So that's fundamentally how you run the benchmarks. Exactly the same as Go test, except it's Go bench.
Okay.
And then we run them. I can give you the exact command lines I tend to run. Like we run them with dash bench mem, I think, because the big hog in all of Scope is garbage collection, memory allocation, and deallocation. So the timings can be very hard to get the numbers stable, but the memory allocation, you tend to get very consistent results for, and they're huge. And so that's what I spend most of my spare time doing, is bringing the memory allocation numbers down.
Yeah, depending on the test, like on this one, it's better to look at memory allocations, because in a real big system, well, with the full probe running and so on, it's much more difficult to predict the impact of memory allocations when it comes to time on the garbage collector.
Yeah, but basically, if you do something and it takes 60,000 memory allocations, and you change the code so it takes 40,000. Or really, the limiting factor is bytes, but whatever. If you make a big reduction in the amount of memory being allocated, then the whole thing will go faster.
Yeah, sure, Brian. Maybe I'll ping you on this. I need to just get started again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I optimize things like it's like a video game for me.
Oh, cool.
That's how I relax.
Yeah.
Actually, like working on this kind of stuff is great for Scope, because one of the problems users find when they run nodes with a lot of containers or highly loaded is that Scope consumes too much CPU.
Mm.
So it would be great if you got to start to learn how to optimize it and work on it. Yeah.
Yeah, right, Fonts. That will be like a really great thing to know.
Cool.
So let's go through the recent issues. I haven't even looked at the latest one. 3249. Whoa.
All right. That's a bug, and that is high prio. Or not. Maybe not. So this looks like some encoding problem, but it could be that the client. No, this is 1.7. So it's a fairly old version of Kubernetes. I don't know.
I think he's managed to hit a service that is answering something else entirely, and he or
could
she.
be.
Yeah, need more information.
All right, I'll follow up on this one.
Okay.
Support pluggable node health item renders and clean up default scope one. I don't even know what.
Well, I already asked. This is Philip, who works for Weaveworks. So I asked him what he's talking about already. So
yeah,
none of us know.
Is he referring to a private repo? Yeah.
Yeah, that's not helpful either. Yeah. The big picture, he's trying to disentangle the private and the public repos. So, I'm kind of in favor of that, but he has to use words that people can understand.
All right, I'll add an action.
Next one is for someone called Satya.
All right. Next. Yeah. Pop-out is not showing any pod log data in WIF-scope pod terminal.
Right. So I was trying it on a GKE and I tried it on a Minikube also, but it seemed to be not working for me. It was not working.
How did please don't take this as patronizing, but I guess you tested that you got actual logs when using kubectl?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Forget the kubectl logs, but if I do the exec, right? So that time also it should come.
You mean the other button?
Yeah, the controls, we have the exec, right? So even that was not coming up.
Yeah.
Do you see anything in the logs? And
No.
where did you deploy this?
Actually, it was on first one is on a GKE, and then it's on the Minikube, second one.
All right. Did you find anything in the scope log, both in the app or the probe?
No Fonts. I'm not sure. Let me get back to you on this. I think there was some pipe related thing.
Okay.
Let me check
probably post the logs is a good suggestion.
Yeah.
I'll put them on the issue.
Right. Okay, sure.
Okay.
So 3243 is again about making scope more independent of Weave Cloud.
Yeah.
The
next one you created, stop talking to the kubelet unsecured port.
Yeah. Yeah, which if it's properly configured, it doesn't do that anyway. But Well, I guess we could discuss whether we want to keep the code and secure it, or just delete the code and insist on knowing the node name.
I think I remember just knowing the node name, yeah.
So basically what happens is it gets a list of all the pods from the API server.
Yeah.
No matter what. And then it wants to filter that list down to just the ones running on the local node. So one way it does that is by talking to this unsecured port to kubelet.
I remember.
And then another way we do it is just by string comparing on the node name.
I remember I coded this, and there was a compatibility issue there, I think. That you couldn't always get the node name. Could that be it?
Possibly. I mean, I don't know of any circumstance when that would be true in Kubernetes.
Maybe it was an OpenShift problem. I need to dig into the code. But I think I can take this one because I remember vaguely when I wrote this. I think it was an obscure case in which it failed for OpenShift.
Well, there's another issue where, as I read it now, the reporter is saying that thing never works on OpenShift because the port isn't there.
Oh, okay.
That's the linked one, 3104.
Okay, I'm just gonna run a blame on the code and see where I introduced this because it wasn't.
Well, we don't need to go into the details right now. I mean, that's.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's just like a thing. That's like I just came across that because I was reading the release notes for the latest Kubernetes.
Yeah.
And I thought, I should file that in. Okay, next.
Performance issue when hosts are more than 100. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think we should. I can answer it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be interesting to know what size, like how much hardware is behind their app. Or if they're using Weave Cloud, in which case I can tell you how much hardware is behind it, but it's a different problem.
Maybe it's the probes. Okay.
No, not based on the description. He's saying the number of hosts go missing.
Yeah, but it could be that the probes are taking too long, and then you stop the reporting.
Oh, you mean, yeah. So like if it's something like Kubernetes, then each host is reporting for all 100.
Yeah, that is true.
Each probe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried once to configure it so that you only do the Kubernetes reporting from one host. And then I discovered there's all this code that's like tagging, which is basically gluing together different bits of the report inside the probe. And I need it to glue together inside the app. So that turned out to be a harder job. I think that would be a very worthwhile change for Kubernetes users.
Yeah.
Because you also start denial of service attacking your API server.
Okay. Okay, I just answered. Okay. Wavescope doesn't work behind the proxy.
Yeah, even I also, faced this issue a lot of times where filters were not working specifically behind the proxy.
Yeah, does the proxy support WebSockets?
No, it's not a WebSocket, I think. Yeah, probably because if I pause it, it works fine. So I think it should be.
If you what, sorry?
If I pause it, if I run the scope in the pause mode behind the proxy, so all the filters works, okay, plus our even terminal works properly. But if I run it in a live mode, then actually filters doesn't work. Only problem with filters. I tried it with Kube proxy earlier, but I think someone from Scope community only suggested me to run the Kube proxy port forward.
Oh yeah, but until very recently, very recently, I think Kube proxy port forward didn't support. Oh, just what you mean TCP raw, right?
Yeah.
So kubectl port forward, because
yes,
Kube proxy didn't support WebSockets until very recently.
Yeah,
as far
right.
As I recall.
Yes, and they came up with the kubectl proxy port forward.
Right. Okay. Anyways, I'm asking more information there. I'm asking for more information.
Yeah, actually, my proxy was like behind the Rancher. I was using Rancher once, so they're a WebSocket proxy, and Scope was not working.
Do you know if WebSockets are supported? It would also help to see like a screenshot of the console of the browser to see what endpoints, if any, are failing.
Yep, sure, I'll do that. I'll probably update this issue with that.
Yeah, that would be very useful.
Yes,
thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
Fons, when you in your comment there, you said the proxy needs to support them. Did you mean WebSockets?
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yes, I meant that.
Right.
Yep, updated. And I think that completes the 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's the last one's 20 days old. The one after that.
One more update, guys. Sorry, Brian, you want to say something?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, this 3.224, right? Opened by Uma. So probably, Akash, can you take this up for implementation? Akash?
Sure, Satyam, I can take this up.
Okay, cool.
Should I assign it to you then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What's your GitHub number? Name, sorry.
Akash4927 actually. It's right like.
I couldn't hear you very clearly. Can you type it on the chat?
Yeah, sure.
And FYI, I was in a meeting with some people from the Rook project. It's like a storage orchestrator, and they'd never heard of Scope, but they were kind of excited to see the storage pictures that you guys had added.
Cool, that's nice.
I don't know whether you talked to the Rook project at all.
Yeah, we talked them. It's not like that.
Okay. I just wanted to mention 3223, a GitHub issue template, because like people come along and say it didn't work. You could put an issue template in that said like, please post the logs, or I guess half the people post the logs, but we could have that's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Sure, Brian. I can do this. This is like a small thing. I can do it tomorrow.
All right.
No issues.
I'll add it to. I don't know why I cannot assign things.
Because I think we are not in a VWorks organization, GitHub, so that could be a reason.
I can probably make you a collaborator. You can't do it either, Phones?
No, I can't. Well, I can. I think I can add them as collaborators. That I can do, definitely.
No, I mean, let me. When I'm not on my right computer here, when I get back to my desk, I'll check that.
Maybe there's a way to allow assigning to anybody, because it sounds. Why would you not allow assigning to anybody on GitHub?
I think it's just like spam, then, isn't it?
Oh, okay. So they need to accept it, right, before you can assign them. In the same way you invite, like they need to accept an invitation or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I can add collaborators because I'm an admin, but I don't have control over the WeWorks organization.
Yeah, give me an action in the. Have we got any actions in the minutes?
Yeah, I added a lot of actions actually.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I can add whoever as at OpenEBS as a collaborator. I need to check the permissions, but I don't see a problem with adding as a collaborator.
All right. All right. I'll do that. Anything else?
Yeah, that's it from my side.
All right, great. I don't have anything from my side.
Any comments on, is it useful to do that run through? Is that what people want to do every 2 weeks?
I think this was very, very useful. Maybe not in such a, maybe we should time box it if there are other.
I would recommend doing it last. Like if someone's put something on the agenda, we do that first, and then we go to the pull requests and issues.
Yeah, that's a natural way to time box it. I like that.
Yes, I also agree. That brings to one thing, Brian. You remember we were discussing about issues which are inactive.
Should we close old issues?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
yeah, it's a valid question. I mean, the thing is, what do we say? So that if we go right back to the beginning, like most of the things on page 15 of the issues are still somewhat valid. Some of them are actually done, I think. Oh, I see. No.
I can triage the issues. I think I went through them to do the labeling and stuff.
Did you?
But I didn't. I think I closed a few, but maybe I wasn't really focusing on that, so maybe I left a few open.
I mean, I'm just trying to illustrate, like, out of like the last 20 issues, the oldest 20 issues, I could believe 2 or 3 of them we could talk about closing them, but the others are basically valid. They're things that people thought about, and it just happens to be 3 years ago they thought about it, and they're still valid things to think about.
Yes, Brian. I see some, issues repeating here. One with this expose Kubernetes resource limits on page 15. One was filed by you also, right?
Sure, we can. If we have a clear duplication, we can close one and leave the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can argue against that.
Well, actually, 527 is limits, and 2760 is requests and limits. Well, okay, so maybe. Yeah, you're right. We could close. I just don't care enough. I mean, if we did the work, we just close both issues.
Yep. That's what I was coming to.
Okay. So I'll add an action on my side to go through all the issues and close the ones I think are fixed and remove duplicates if I see that applies. And then maybe you can take a look again and mention, well, and tell us if you still think you feel like we should close issues. There's a lot of whole stuff, but I agree with Brian that if it's still applicable, then we shouldn't just close them. Because I think we were very careful to document issues, and I think that is very valuable.
Yes, I agree with you. I saw some issues related to terminal as I was facing this pop-out issue and other lines overlapping issue. So, there are repeating issues in that also. Some of them are likely to be, fixed. So, we really need to revisit issues once, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just put a comment on the issue saying, is this finished now, or put it in Slack.
Yep, sure.
There's with one area of work, I kind of agree. There's a lot of issues about performance, which are code dependent and are not all that helpful, right? There are a gazillion issues which are scope consumes a lot of CPU, scope consumes a lot of memory.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it helps to have a 20 issues saying that thing.
Yeah, again, read through them and see if there's any unique detail, and yeah, totally cool to.
Yeah, I can also help on triaging some of them. No issues.
All right, I'll try to go through all of them, but if you focus on those ones, I would appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah, performance is something like even in our team also we were discussing the same thing, like how much scope consumes, and on that part, like is it worth running it? So yeah, that is also a concern.
If you're interested to work on that specifically, maybe we could have some sort of mini ramp up presentation on it or something like that to help you get up on speed.
Yep, I would totally appreciate that.
All right, but so you would be committed to work on it, because it would take quite some. Well, it would be helpful to have that documentation, anyways. But if we're going to commit to that,
yeah, sure. I can, because end of the day I have to try it. Performance is, it's okay to not have some features ready, but if it's not working properly and into the limits of the user, then that is the issue. But I can totally, devote some time on that.
Okay.
Yep. But as you said, I need some sessions on that.
All right. I'll add as a potential, if we have the time, as a potential action for me and Brian to have a mini presentation, a short thing on performance that can help you ramp up. But to be fair, the biggest performance hurdle of scope is garbage collection.
Yeah.
Because you create a lot of data structures, a lot of strings, a lot of other things, send them to to the, well, create them, send them to the app, destroy them, create them, send them to the app, so on and so forth. And the app needs to create, deserialize a lot of reports, merge them, present them, throw them away.
There are structural things, like for instance, where we get all the data from Kubernetes on every probe. There's what you're talking about, and then there's that kind of more architectural, maybe is a good word, change, and then it's very, there's some probe things are very system dependent. So I sometimes see like one probe go way up 2-3 CPUs solid, and then like stop. I don't know what it's doing I've never managed to get to it fast enough and get a profile out of it in that time. But on other occasions, I've noticed counting open file descriptors is incredibly slow, and that's actually not really happening in scope. It's between scope and the kernel, because basically just iterating down a directory under /proc. But there's like a whole massive raft of, basically what you got to do is find one that you think is too slow and profile it, and then figure out what to do next.
There are also design decisions which affect performance, such as making reports self-contained, which is great in terms of reasoning, but it means that every time you send a report, you send a lot of duplicated information. So every report sent from the probe to the app is self-contained, and it doesn't refer to prior reports.
You're talking about sending deltas.
Yes, but I mean, sending deltas is a solution. But my point is that you end up creating and destroying a lot of data, which could be considered redundant, right?
Yeah.
But that is pretty complicated to resolve, because it impacts the distributed data model of scope, and it's tough to tackle, I would say.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't think we need to cover all that right now, but maybe it would be good to have a short conversation, like a short presentation with a few tips on where the biggest pain points are. I'm with you.
Yep. Guys, one more thing, in Kubernetes, most of the things like, they are cluster level things. So they occur at a cluster level. They don't occur at a host level. The one like in what happens in a probe is like currently what's happening is we have the client Go running on each host, right? Which is collecting data and sending it to the app. And so I think there is an opportunity for us to, add some model into the probe, for Kubernetes specifically, which can get the data, cluster level data, which can collect, like one host can collect the cluster level data, right? Because Kube API server has all the information.
Yeah, that's why I said I tried that, but there's this tagging process which basically the joining together of the host information and the cluster information is done in the probe, and that needs to move to the app.
Yeah.
But what you said is absolutely right. That is a brilliant improvement. It's just
right. So
it's going to take more than an hour.
Yep. So we will discuss. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Another problem is which of the probes should be the one taking.
That's not a problem. No, I figured out how to solve that one.
All right.
Yeah, you mean in the app?
No, what you do, you just don't ask that question. You ask a different question.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So instead of saying I have n things, how do I get to pick one that does a certain job? Right, that's your question.
Yes.
So I changed the question to: is there any way to have always run one extra thing that pulls the Kubernetes information? And the answer to that one is trivial. You just go from having one deployment to one daemon set we have at the moment, and you go to one daemon set plus one deployment with replicas equals 1.
Ah, okay, sure.
Yeah, it can be a sidecar or
No.
ambassador running with
No.
apps.
No, but if you use a
It's a
sidecar,
deployment.
you're gonna replicate it,
Okay.
right? Anyways. Yeah. That's a really good point.
Yeah, I should really put that in an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually that complicates a little bit, but you shouldn't care, right? Because it's automated. We should generate a deployment on a daemon set and have a special probe deployed as a deployment which only takes care of the Kubernetes information. That's really good, and that should be pretty simple, I think.
Yeah, that part of it's simple. It's the moving the tagging piece.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
the structural issue. And in fact, the whole idea of tagging was sort of central, or it was an important thing in the original creators of Scope. They really wanted the app to be quite dumb, and they wanted the probe to make all the decisions. And I've kind of didn't know that or ignored it. Anyway, I mean, it's definitely not a universal truth right now. So right now, some of the decisions are made in the probe and some of the decisions are made in the app. And what we're talking about would involve more decisions moving from the probe to the app.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think we can put this into a few slides, and I think that would be helpful. Would you agree?
Well, the subject of profiling and optimizing Scope, I could talk for an hour on that. There is actually a video of me kind of talking about it at FOSDEM, but yeah, I can do shorter than an hour as well. I mean, I think you just need a few command lines to kind of get going, but then some of it is like, well, what am I looking at? I got a profile now. What does this mean? And I'm happy to do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that stuff is generic to Go, not specific to Scope, right? Like identifying which parts, like when you see a function on the profile, whether you can attribute that to the garbage collector or your program, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, there's a little bit that's kind of to do with Scope about, yeah, there's a few things that kind of show up in certain ways. There's,
Sure.
the way Go routines are used and things like that, it shows up in a particular way. But yeah, you're right. It's reasonably, well, a lot of it is generic to Go profiling.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely. I gave a talk at FOSDEM in the Go room, which was essentially based on a bunch of changes I'd made to Scope. So go find the video.
Oh yeah, if you could look for.
Oh, I could find you the link. Yeah.
Yeah. And add it
First,
to the minutes. That would be great.
Okay.
Cool. I'll start with the Go profiling first, and then I'll talk to you more on that.
Okay.
That sounds great.
Yep. Thank you for all the help.
Well,
Sure,
thank
no
you
problem.
for helping as well.
Yeah.
All right, great guys.
Thanks.
I think we're reaching the end of the scheduled time.
Yeah. Bye then.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys, and a
Yep.
good
Yeah.
evening.
Good evening,
Bye.
guys. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.